Good morning, everyone. My name is France Atchison. I am very pleased to present and do this interview with Pierre Gauthier. This is an interview in the context of the coaching summit that we are delivering in 2020, December 2020. So I'm very, very pleased to present my colleague that used to work with us in the public service, has been retired for a few years, but seems to be very, very busy with his coaching hat. So Pierre Gauthier, would you like to maybe share with us what you've been doing with as a public servant, and then we'll move on to the new role that you have.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so I was with Statistics Canada for 29 years. I did a lot of different roles and a lot of management, project management, and managing teams. And this was a bit of a passion for me. So I eventually became head of management development. And it was during my tenure there that I became a certified integral master coach with Integral Coaching Canada. And in 2009, coinciding roughly with my getting my certification in coaching, I had the wonderful opportunity to join the Canada School of Public Service and to teach a number of management courses, which was truly a wonderful experience.
And then
And then I
retirement.
retired in 2013. Yes.
But not for long. Apparently, your coaching skills and your passion for coaching just kept growing. And you moved into your retirement becoming a coach, or you were a coach, but doing more coaching.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. My retirement lasted exactly 2 weeks. And in November of 2013, I started working at Shopify as a coach, just with a couple of clients. A friend of mine, Cam Gregg, also an integral coach, had started coaching executives at Shopify. And they were thrilled with the experience and they wanted to expand to all the leaders in the company.
Mhm.
So this was too much for Cam to handle by himself. So he went out and talked to colleagues, myself included, and asked if we could start doing coaching at Shopify. And at first, he offered 2 or 3 clients, which was just the right level for me, but that didn't last very long. When I joined Shopify, there were fewer than 300 employees, and they're now we're going on 9,000. So
Wow.
it's been a real pleasure to watch the growth of the company and to know that my fingerprints are kind of on that growth as well.
And for those who don't know what Shopify is, maybe put it in context what the company, Canadian company, a successful Canadian company in the Ottawa region, if I may recall.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Shopify was born in Ottawa. We have people all over the world now, but it remains the head office remains in Ottawa, which is a kind of unusual, I think,
Mhm.
especially in the e-commerce sector. So Shopify is an e-commerce platform that provides the full suite of services to help merchants, small, medium, large, to get into e-commerce.
Mhm.
So it provides all the services that someone could need to operate a store or business online, from controlling inventory, building a website, shipping, billing. All of that is all contained within the product. So
Yes.
it is a very big success story in the e-commerce world.
So contributing as a coach, how do we offer coaching at the beginning of Shopify when there's 300 people, now there's 9,000? How did this service grew and what was the perception? I guess since you're still there, there's a positive perception around the impact of coaching, but what kind of coaching were you actually giving at the time, and now what has shifted?
So at the time, coaching was offered to anyone who was a lead in any kind of capacity. And It was based very much on the integral model, and was very developmental. And that actually came at a very good time, I think, for people, because most of these people were young. They were just starting out their careers. I'd say in the early days, most of my clients were 26, 27, 28 years old,
Wow.
and we're just starting out. And so the appetite for growth and development and learning was really, really high. And we had the capacity to offer it quite widely to pretty much anyone who was a lead and wanted to experience coaching. And the results were very good. I mean, the satisfaction level was very, very high. And eventually the demand outstripped our abilities. So we began to um, develop different offerings. And the one that we're most proud of, I think, is our Coach's Corner offering. So every year we do thousands of these sessions, which are 30-minute sessions or 1 hour sessions if the person is a lead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a session that they book. We have a booking system. They book time with a coach, and it really opens up the coaching services to everyone in the company, which is incredibly unusual
Mm-hmm.
and super useful. I mean, the feedback we get is always stellar. That they just love the fact that they're able to access professional coaches,
Yes.
even though they're not executives or senior managers.
And for executives, do you have the same formula, the coach's corner?
No, the well, I mean, I suppose they could, but they all, so senior leadership has the option of one-on-one coaching with a dedicated coach, and the great majority of them take advantage of this. So the executives, if you will, grew up and matured with their coaches, and so
Mm-hmm.
there's just a culture there that welcomes and makes really good use of coaching as a vehicle for growth and development and becoming better leaders.
And I guess also the because knowing also your past experience with training, how is coaching being integrated with the leadership programs or training, complementary training that you offer at Shopify? That's question number one, Pierre. And the second sub question would be any other types of coaching? We're talking about individual coaching. Are there any other types that you are offering at Shopify?
Yeah, sure. So to answer your first question, in the early days, it was a very small company, and so there was very much a culture of if you see something that needs to be done, just do it.
Mhm.
And so the coaches, several of us had a background in management development and training, and so in the early days, the um, leadership development courses and the training were offered by the coaches themselves. Now, over time, of course, that's not sustainable. And now we have specialized teams doing different training programs, including leadership development. So the coaches are more focused now on coaching. But coaching is part, if you will, of the fabric of the company. And so coaching approaches and coaching skills are discussed in the leadership training. People who are in leadership development programs can get a session with a coach, and it's all kind of seamless now.
Mhm.
Uh, and your second question
Yes,
was
types of coaching, more
types
types of
of
coaching
coaching.
if it's individual versus other modalities.
Shopify has again a real strong culture of it's kind of entrepreneurial, right? So we're constantly developing new programs. We try them, we test them, and we pivot where we need to. Where we are right now, we have offerings for teams. we have Coach's Corner, and we have offerings for individuals that vary depending on their level of responsibility or impact in the company. We've experimented with things like peer coaching circles. Um, the team coaching format has evolved over time, and you know, I could I can never tell you that it's stable or set. We're constantly evolving because we assess. We gather a lot of data. We assess our programs and their effectiveness, and if we need to pivot, we pivot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What would be, Pierre, your number one recommendation if we were to integrate these kinds of coaching programs within the public service? You've been in the public service, you know the culture that we're in. There seems to be a taste and a willingness around integrating coaching. As you're aware, we're offering a bit more coaching to executives still in the public service or through a leadership program. But what would be your recommendation based on your experience with Shopify?
It would definitely be start offering it at more junior levels to the extent possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it doesn't have to be a full blown coaching program, costing thousands and thousands of dollars, but have something, because then it starts people down a path where their growth and development as leaders sort of is imbued with coaching as a way of connecting with people, a way of guiding people, leading people, growing people. So, if someone goes through, 20 years, 25 years, and then becomes an executive, now they have access to coaching. Okay, that's fine. That's better than nothing. But if nothing else, Shopify has taught me that start offering it to people much earlier on in their careers,
Mm-hmm.
and then it becomes just so much more normal and
Mm,
and and just part of their way of thinking. They it's funny, sometimes I'll have a conversation with someone who's a relatively new lead, but who has been to a couple of coaches corners, and they talk about coaching their employees, that their team members. That's just it becomes part of the language of the
yes.
organization. And so leaders coach their team members because they've had a taste of what it's like, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so they've been with a coach. It's been modeled for them what coaching is like. And now they can repeat that same process without having gone through any real formal
Certification.
training. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So start early, offer it widely. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And and any other recommendation you would have for us to be able to implement a bit more of these coaching programs within the public service? I've heard internal coaches as well. We tend to rely a lot on external coaches. So any tips or advice that you would have for us?
Well, internal coaching teams, in my humble opinion, are absolutely amazing resources to have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they bring with them certain challenges, of course, and maintaining absolute confidentiality, and so there has to be a firewall between the coaches and the rest of
Mm-hmm.
um, human resources, or as we call it, talent, and also between levels. There are teams that I coach, VP, directors, senior leads, and leads on the same team, and they all know and trust that I don't share anything. Nothing. There's an absolute firewall between these various levels, but the amount of context that
Mm,
I have about their reality, the challenges they face, that is so helpful. It
mm.
is, I mean, it just allows me to be so much more effective as a coach.
Well, thank you, Pierre. Thank you for your time. And definitely, we knowing that you also know the culture of the public service based on all these years that you've been within the public service, we're learning a lot on how to implement coaching within the public service based on the great experience that you got at Shopify. So, thank you for your time and thank you for sharing your knowledge, your experience. And definitely, we will be sharing with all of the coaches who want to develop and foster that coaching culture within the public service. So thank you
Excellent.
very much.
It's my pleasure. Bye bye.
Bye bye.